We hit hard Iran's defense capabilities and its ability to produce missiles that are aimed at us.
We start with West Asia, where weekends tend to be a busy affair. Beyond the bombings, which have unfortunately become par for the course, this time we saw Israel striking Iran. Yes, it's finally happened. After weeks of planning, Netanyahu and team finally attacked Iran. They called the airstrikes precise and targeted. It was retaliation. Earlier this month, Tehran had rained some 200 missiles on Israel. So this Friday, Israel fired back, although not on the same scale. It struck some 20 targets in Iran. And in the run-up to this, there was a lot of speculation. Would Israel attack Iran's nuclear and oil facilities? Some hawks in Israel certainly wanted to, but Netanyahu seems to have given in to American pressure. He opted for a limited operation, firing at Iran's defense system, its drone bases and weapons production facilities, specifically the missile and drone units around Tehran. Let's show you some pictures. This is one of the sites that the Israelis hit. Apparently, Iran had built this to test nuclear weapons. The IDF attacked it with jets and drones, and Netanyahu says, mission accomplished. He says Israel has achieved all of its goals.
The attack in Iran was precise and powerful and achieved all of its objectives.
4 Iranian soldiers were killed in this attack, and Tehran has vowed to avenge their death. Iran's president said they would give a quote-unquote appropriate response. At the same time, he said Iran does not want a war, and his statements have been measured and guarded. It's like both sides are going through the motions, Iran and Israel. They don't want to be seen as weak, but they want to avoid an escalation. Look at this report. It says that Israel gave a heads up to Iran before the strikes. It sent several messages to Tehran, which were delivered by intermediaries. Through these messages, Israel told Iran that it was planning to strike. It also outlined the targets and shared details like which sites will come under attack and which ones will be avoided. But why would Israel do this? To minimize damage on the Iranian side so that they don't feel compelled to launch a counterattack. Basically, Israel tried telling Iran, let this be the last attack. Unless you escalate from here, we won't strike again. But if you strike back, if you harm Israeli citizens, then the IDF will come back with greater force. Of course, Israel has neither confirmed nor denied any of these reports. These two countries, remember, are sworn enemies. They have no diplomatic relations. Iran does not even recognize the state of Israel. So officially, Israel would never confirm giving a tip-off to the Iranians before an attack. But it does make sense, this strategy, this approach gives two messages. One, Israel doesn't want an escalation from here. And two, it has also demonstrated its capabilities. It has shown Iran its reach, how its jets can breach the Iranian airspace and strike targets with pinpoint accuracy. And the message has reached the intended recipients. Iran's supreme leader said the attack should neither be exaggerated nor downplayed. More importantly, he did not call for retaliation.
Well, they made a mistake. They, of course, exaggerated it. Their exaggeration is wrong, but note that downplaying it is also wrong. Saying, no, there was nothing, it wasn't important, and this is also wrong.
So just the standard rhetoric from Tehran. From the looks of it, this may not escalate. And even if it did, it would not be the biggest challenge on Netanyahu's list. He is under immense pressure at home. His allies want him to take a ceasefire deal now. So far, the Israeli Prime Minister has ignored such calls, but it's getting harder by the day, given that his own defense minister is now challenging him. We are talking about Yoav Gallant. He has written a letter to Prime Minister Netanyahu criticizing the war. He says Israel's war efforts have become aimless. We have a copy and a quote from that letter. This is what it says. Significant developments in the war, especially Israel and Iran trading direct blows, raise the necessity of holding a discussion and updating the war's goals with a comprehensive look. So Gallant is calling for a reassessment, but Netanyahu may not agree. Instead, he is looking to fire Gallant. That's what the Israeli press is reporting, that the Prime Minister wants to sack the defense minister. Meanwhile, public pressure is piling on. Over the weekend, Netanyahu was heckled by protesters. Reports say these were families of the hostages who are still in Gaza. They want a ceasefire so that their people can be brought back. Earlier, Egypt had proposed a new deal. Egypt is mediating between Israel and Hamas. It proposed a 2-day ceasefire in exchange for the release of 4 hostages. Netanyahu is said to have rejected that proposal. He doesn't want an end to the war, neither in Gaza nor in Lebanon, it seems. And in this scenario, the chances of an escalation with Iran and the risk of a wider war in West Asia will remain alive.
Firstpost decodes the U.S. election. Explains how America chooses its president. Your primer on the race to the White House. Everything you need to know about how America votes and its global implications. U.S. Election Explained. Every Monday and Thursday only on Firstpost.